Hey everyone, so today's video is going to be another declutter. I'm going to go through and declutter my blush collection. I feel like my blush collection has gotten a little bit out of hand, and I think it's because I did add some new formulas to my collection pretty recently. I've slowly been getting into cream blushes, so because of that, it's getting a little bit bigger. And honestly, when I look at my collection, I just have too many. Even if I wore one blush every week and switched it up that often, I would still have blushes I wouldn't get to. So because of that, it is time to go through and declutter. I do like pretty much all of these formulas, otherwise they wouldn't be in my collection, but it doesn't mean I need to keep all of them. The reason why I like to declutter is because I can catch products I'm not using as often and pass them along to friends and family to enjoy. So nothing is going to waste unless it is old or expired. I actually might have like 1 or 2 formulas that are a little bit older, which we will get to. But anyway, if you guys like declutter videos, I would love for you to subscribe. I'm going to be uploading 1 or 2 every week throughout the month of March, and I will link them in the description box below if you are watching this at a later time. So let's jump into it and we will start decluttering. Okay, let's just start right here in the middle. This one is from Melt Cosmetics. It is their Digital Dust Duo Blush in Raw Honey. And I was excited when Melt Cosmetics came out with these. They looked so pretty. I am a big fan of glowy blushes. That's kind of what I've been going for the past 2 years. So I probably will declutter some of my matte blushes. But the reason why I didn't love this as much as I thought I would is because it takes a ton of building. I do have a lighter skin tone and it barely shows up on me. The swatches on Melt's Instagram and Sephora's website were super intense, and I do like a little bit more of a subtle blush, but I feel like I really have to layer this product up. I've come to enjoy it for days where I do want a very subtle application, something that's pretty glowy, so I am going to keep it in my collection, and I've kind of been thinking about buying another shade, but if you are looking for like a pigmented blush, this is not the one to try. Let me move this out of the way. Actually, I guess I could just talk about this one. It is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Volume 4. This is a little bit older. I did get a good amount of use out of this. This is what actually introduced me to some of the other Hourglass products other than the blushes. But at this point, I do have some of these products in a full-size version. I have this one, and this one, and then I have a blush that kind of looks like that. I either have a full-size version or I have them in other palettes, so I just haven't reached for this at all over the past year, so I am going to declutter it. I do have a few of the CoverFx duos. These are called their Monochromatic Blush Duos, and they each come with a matte and a shimmer side. So this one is Pink Dahlia. I am going to hang on to these. I really enjoy them. They do have a very matte side and then like a lightly satin shimmery side, but I typically just kind of mix them together whenever I'm wearing them. This one is called Warm Honey. This is a little bit deeper, but I do love to use this one when I do want more of a dramatic blush. I've thought about buying another one, like they have this pretty purpley toned one. Typically these are on sale during Ulta's 21 Days of Beauty, which is coming up. So I haven't actually looked at the full list. Maybe they'll be on sale and I can get it for a discounted price. Although I'm decluttering my collection, so I don't know that I need to do that. This is actually a bronzer, so this shouldn't even be in this drawer. This is the Sun-Kissed Bronze Duo. It's the lighter one. This should actually be in my bronzer drawer, so let me move that over there. Over here, I have the e.l.f. Primer-Infused blushes. I really like these, but I will say that I don't wear all 4 of these shades regularly, so I do think I could probably declutter 1 or 2 of them. This one is Always Cheeky. It's a pretty light blush. It does show up on me, but I just feel like sometimes when I wear blush, I just want a little bit more color, and typically I don't go for something so light these days unless it's more of a shimmery shade. So I think I'm going to declutter this one. So this one is Always Rosy. This one is a matte blush, and then this one is Always Breezy, which does have some shimmer in it. They actually don't look as similar as I thought they did. So I think I'm actually going to keep these, especially because they are 2 different finishes, but I do think I'll declutter this brighter one. This one is called Always Cheery. This one's really pretty too. I'm tempted to keep this one, but I don't wear super bright blush as often, and I think that I do have something similar in these e.l.f. duos, which I am probably going to end up keeping. So I will declutter this brighter one. I feel like it's not something I reach for as often as I would like to. I'm sad to say, but I think it's actually time to part with my Too Faced Tutti Frutti blushes. I love these so much, but I think I put them in my everyday makeup drawer for summer, or I was just making an effort to really use them during the summertime, and the formula is not the same. So I don't know if they've expired, or I think that's actually the case. I feel like they're just not as good as they used to be, which is weird because they're not super old. This one is Papaya Pop. I feel like they are a little bit dried out, which is interesting because they are powder blushes, but I feel like maybe they have a slight creaminess to them. And sometimes if a powder blush is a little bit more creamy, I do find that it expires a little more quickly. It's so weird because some blush will last years and years and some expires a little bit faster. I think I've had these for probably over 2 years at this point, which doesn't really seem that long, but I do know they don't perform like they used to. So I think I need to declutter that one. This one is Like My Melons. And again, this one was just a little bit more dry when I used it last time. The reason why I liked these is because they were so shimmery and glowy on the skin, and I love shimmery blushes. They are my favorite. This one is Apricot in the Act. And same thing with this one. I mean, you can even tell by looking at the texture, it just looks a little bit more dry. And when I used them, there just wasn't a lot of color payoff, and that's not how it used to be. This one is Strobe Berry. So if you guys have the Tutti Frutti blushes in your collection, I would love to know if you have had the same experience. I really enjoy these. I think they're so cute. The colors are beautiful. The formula was really nice, but it's just not performing like it used to. So for me, that is a sign I need to declutter it and just let the formula go. Too Faced recently came out with this formula. This is their Peach Bloom Color Blossom Lip and Cheek Tint. So you can use these on the lips or the cheeks. I actually like this formula. Like I said, I've slowly been getting into cream type products, and this is kind of like a gel cream or more of like a gel serum. I always feel like serum type of blushes work really well on my oily skin, and these are nice. They do have 4 shades. I don't think you need all 4 because I do think they end up looking pretty similar on the cheeks once you use them. So the purple one is called Grape Pop Glow, and then the pink one is called Peach Glow. And they do kind of leave a stain on the cheeks, which is nice. I don't usually use them on the lips, but I do like wearing them on the cheeks. So I am going to hang on to these. Speaking of serum type blushes, I still love these. These are from Flower Beauty, and these are the Flower Beauty Blush Bomb. So for a long time, these were like the only cream type blushes that I would reach for. These are so pretty. I still think they are worth trying if you're thinking about trying a new blush in 2021. They have like an interesting texture. Let me swatch one for you. This one is in the shade Cinnamon, and you just squeeze it and it comes out. I really like the actual applicator because I feel like it's just easy to get the perfect amount, and then you blend them into the skin, and you can probably tell like how easily that's blending into the skin. There is a lot of pigment, and some blushes with this formula almost blend away to nothing. That is not the case with these. Like a little bit really does go a long way. My camera has a hard time focusing on swatches, but they just look so glowy and healthy on the skin. And honestly, they hold up pretty well on my oily skin. Now these ones don't stain like other cream blushes that I've tried, but I absolutely love these. So these are definitely one of my favorite cream formulas. I am going to hang on to all of these. A cream blush formula that I am not loving is this one from Rare Beauty. It is their Melting Blush in the shade Nearly Neutral. So Rare Beauty has 2 different cream blushes. I guess their other blushes are kind of like liquid blushes, and I think that's what I should have tried first because I know that one of the formulas was getting really good reviews, one was getting mixed, but I didn't really pay attention to which was which because I didn't watch a ton of Rare Beauty reviews, honestly. I just decided to pick this one up. I think I saw a video of Selena Gomez applying it, and it looked really pretty. It did look natural, and I think overall this is more of a subtle formula, so if you do like a soft wash of color, you might like this for that purpose. But when I apply this product, all of the foundation underneath comes off. It doesn't matter if I have a full coverage foundation on or a tinted moisturizer, it just removes everything underneath. The color fades so quickly, and you can build it up to some extent, but because it fades, I feel like it's kind of pointless anyway. So I don't know. I know that it has good reviews on Sephora's website. It also has some really bad reviews. I feel like it just kind of comes down to personal preference as with any product, but I do think I need to try out her liquid blushes because I've heard really good things about those. But I will be decluttering this one. It just didn't work for me. Another cream formula I do like would be the e.l.f. Putty Blushes. These are just easy to work with. They did end up sending me, sorry, the pugs are in here. I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear them, but they are in here if you can hear some pug noises. But these are nice because they're a little bit more subtle. They're just easy to work with. These kind of have like a slight matte texture to them. They're not super glowy, so I do think they're nice for oily skin. But again, I know people who have dry skin love these as well. I will go through and swatch them for you guys. So this one is Caribbean. This one is a really pretty berry. This one does have really good pigmentation, so if you do want a vibrant blush, and it looks really vibrant from just like the initial swatch, but you can definitely build this up to be a little bit more intense if that's something you want to do. This one is called Turks and Caicos. This is a really pretty lighter coral. This one's a little bit softer. You can't really build it up to be too intense because it is lighter overall. So here is Turks and Caicos. It's just a little bit more of a subtle blush overall. This one is called Bali. This is actually a really beautiful color. I don't think I have any blush that looks like this. It's just a little bit more unique to my collection. And here is the swatch of Bali. My camera always has a hard time focusing on the swatches, so hopefully this will show up. This one is Bahamas. It's a little bit of a deeper coral compared to the one that I just showed you guys earlier. And I did build up this swatch just a little bit, so it can be applied a little bit more sheer, but that's pretty much as intense as it gets. My camera does not want to focus on the swatches. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, so I just wanted to swatch them for you in case you were thinking about buying any of them. I actually have one more shade. The last one that I have is called Tahiti. This one is a really, really gorgeous pink. And again, I did build this swatch up a few times. So here is Tahiti. Come on and focus. Okay, here is Tahiti, which is a really, really pretty color. I would swatch everything if my camera would focus. I don't think this lens is necessarily great for like these up close shots. I am planning on upgrading my camera and my lens soon. I need to decide which one to get. So I apologize for that, but it will not focus on the swatches for some reason. This section has some of my ColourPop pressed powder blushes. I don't know, I don't love the ColourPop pressed powder formula. I feel like it kind of varies depending on which collection you get, and these are fine. I mean, they really are. They're just not great. And I think, again, the fact that they are matte blushes kind of contributes to why I don't use them as much. I usually do like just like a hint of shimmer in my blushes. This one is from the She's Got Solstice collection. I actually thought that collection was really pretty. It started off as an Ulta exclusive, and then I think it did end up coming to the ColourPop website. This is gorgeous. I just feel like it's a little bit deeper than what I typically like to wear as a blush. So I'm going to pass it along to one of my cousins who will probably be able to get more use out of it than I do. These two are from the Making Mauves collection. The Making Mauves palette is like my favorite ColourPop palette. It used to be It's My Pleasure. That one I still love, but Making Mauves is just so pretty. So this one is called Coast to Coast. It is more of like a cooler toned mauvey pink. And then the other one is a little bit brighter. This one is called Catch My Vibe. I love the color of these blushes. I just feel like the formula isn't what I typically like to go for. And again, they're so matte on the cheeks. I think I probably have other colors like these that I'll end up keeping. I hate to declutter them because they're so pretty, and I think I just kind of associate them with the Making Mauves palette, but I don't think that I've really used them a lot over the past year, so it is time to pass them on. ColourPop did come out with these blushes, and on the day that I'm filming this, I actually think I just saw on Instagram that they restocked them. Okay, they must have sold out again already. I swear I saw on Instagram this morning that they restocked them, and they just sell out so quickly because people want to be able to get their hands on these. So I don't know why they don't restock more of them. They're actually really good. They are. They come in really cute packaging. So they come in heart packaging, which I honestly love. I think they are adorable. They're not overly bulky. Like, they are a little bit bigger than some of their other blushes, but for the packaging, it's not too bad. I just think the actual formula is a little bit more silky and smooth than some of their other powder blushes. Like, they don't feel as dry, and even though they are completely matte, they blend really nicely on the skin. So this one is called Love Me Not. If they do restock them and you can get your hands on them, I do recommend them. This one is called My Type. I would have talked about them more on my channel. I just hate mentioning products you can't actually buy. Whether they're limited edition or they just keep selling out, I feel like it's really frustrating as a consumer because I'm also a consumer. I like to buy products too when people say they love something and then it's just always sold out. So this is called a Kiss and Tell. I do wear this one quite a bit for more of like an easy, natural look. It's just a little bit lighter than the other two. So I do love these. I'm going to keep them. Hopefully they'll make them readily available or come out with more. That would be nice. The last blush that I have back here is the Ofra Samantha March The Ofra Samantha March Blush Duo. Oh my gosh, I haven't had any coffee yet today, in Chiclet. This is such a pretty blush. I love both of the colors. One side is matte, one side is shimmer, so you can mix them together, wear them alone. I think it is so gorgeous. This whole collection that she created with Ofra is so pretty, so I'm going to keep this one too. This is the Milani Baked Blush in the shade Luminoso. I love this one so much. It's so beautiful. I tend to reach for this one most during the spring and summer. It just looks so healthy and glowy on the skin. I'm definitely going to keep this one. I do have some blushes from Hourglass. This one is called Mood Exposure. It's just a mini. I actually think the minis seem to last forever. They don't make all of their shades in minis, but if you do have the option, if you are planning on purchasing one, I do recommend trying a mini because I've had this one forever. I do love this shade. I actually love all of these. I am going to hang on to them. This one is called Dim Infusion. I like this one when I want like a very subtle warm blush. And then this one is called Euphoric Fusion. This is a really pretty berry tone. This one is called Ethereal Glow. It's kind of like a cooler toned pink. And then the last one that I have is called Brilliant Nude. This one's just like an easy everyday blush. It is a little bit shimmery, so I typically use that just to warm up the complexion. Back here I do have two Flower Beauty blushes. I actually just recently got a third one. I think I set it aside because I'm working on a video on like new drugstore makeup. They did release like a really pretty deep berry, which is gorgeous. So I do like that one. I don't wear a lot of super dark blushes for me, but it is a great option if you're looking for a brighter blush. So one of these is good. This one, Sweet Pea, still works well. I've worn it recently. It blends out nicely. It is a matte blush, but I do like it. It looks really pretty on the skin. This one I think expired. This one is called Warm Hibiscus. It does have some shimmer. It is completely dried out. And again, that can happen to powder products from time to time. I mean, a lot of powder products last for a while, but they do expire eventually, and I've had products expire. The texture just completely changed. It doesn't blend out well. I need to replace it. I'm not going to buy a new one for now because I do have quite a few blushes, but it is time to get rid of this one. These are the Catrice Blush Boxes, so I have two shades. I have bronze, and then I also have glistening pink. Glistening pink is just like a nice everyday color. These are matte blushes, but again, they don't look dry on the skin. I feel like that's key for me. If I'm wearing a matte blush, I need it to look, I just don't need it, I don't want it to look dry. This one is called Bronze. This one's good if you want like a blush bronzer shade all in one, and you don't want to apply two products. So I'm going to keep these. I feel like I'm not getting rid of that many blushes, and I do need to cut it down, so I might have to go back over some of these. Okay, you know what? I am going to declutter these Tart Trios. These were part of a holiday set, and I was actually really impressed by the formula. I haven't purchased any new Tarte products in a long time. Actually, that's not true. I did purchase one of their mascara trios during the holiday season, but I definitely haven't purchased any of their cheek products in a while. So I was really impressed by these. They do blend out well. They're nice. Honestly, I haven't reached for them probably in the past year. I think I'm mostly attributing that to the packaging. The packaging's nice if you like that stack style packaging. And if we were traveling, like if life was normal, I totally would have brought these with me in the past year to travel because you get like 3 different products all in one, a bronzer, blush, and highlighter. But I just didn't use them very much because I've just been at home. I guess I don't really foresee myself using them a whole lot in 2021 just because I have other formulas I'm really excited about. So even though they're good and I like them, I just feel like I don't need to keep them in my collection because they're just not getting used right now. I do like the idea of that blush packaging though. I wish they would have sold them as minis, like just one trio for a really discounted price, because sometimes when you buy 3 trios, not every product is going to work well for you. But in the end, I do like them. I just feel like I need to cut my collection down a little bit. I have 4 blushes from Essence. So they do have some different formulas. This is my favorite Essence formula. These are just called The Blush. You can find them at Ulta. I mean, you can get them on Essence, their actual website. This color is called Befitting. I love these because they look so healthy on the skin. So I think they actually have matte versions and shimmer versions, but they're just so blendable. They're so pretty. They just kind of look like a second skin, which is kind of what I'm going for these days. So I'm going to keep this one. This one is called Bespoke. And again, this one's kind of like a blush bronzer shade all in one. I know Bare Minerals came out with a product that they're calling the Blonzer, which is like a blush bronzer all in one. Chances are you have a product like that in your collection. It depends on what you're looking for, but for me, when I want like a blush bronzer all in one, I want something that has like a hint of shimmer and just like a very bronzy toned blush. So for me, this one is perfect. And if you're looking for something similar, this one's a great option. I think it's like $3. These are the Essence Satin Touch blushes. These are great. This one is called Satin Love. I think that these are so pretty, but because I'm keeping the other Essence blushes and then I'm keeping those Catrice blushes that are kind of similar in color, I will pass these 2 along. This one is called Satin Coral. I feel like Essence also updates these blushes every year or 2 because I've had different versions of the Satin Touch blushes over the years. They're nice. They tend to be very blendable, maybe a little bit powdery, but if you do like subtle blushes, they are nice and they're really inexpensive. But I am going to declutter mine just because I do have other shades and formulas that are similar. These are the Buxom Wanderlust Primer-Infused blushes. This is like one of my absolute favorite formulas of all time. It is so blendable, so smooth on the skin. I am going to hang on to these just because I like that they're a little bit deeper than a lot of the blushes I wear. So on occasion, I do want a little bit more of an intense blush. These are perfect because they're very, very easy to work with. So I think I will keep them. This one is called Ibiza. and it's a really gorgeous kind of deeper pink. This one is called Havana, and it's a little bit deeper, but it's a little cooler than the one I just showed you, so that one is really pretty. My favorite is Seychelles, just because this is like the type of color that I tend to wear most often. It's more of like a natural nude on my skin tone. This one is called Dahlia. I do feel like the three deepest ones, they're not identical, but they look kind of similar. So you know what, I might swatch those and see if I need to keep all three. And then this one is called Mykonos. This one is a gorgeous like bright coral. I am going to put this in my everyday makeup drawer for spring because I think it will be so pretty to wear. Let me swatch and compare the deeper shades and see how similar they are. I mean, I've swatched them before, but that way if you are trying to decide if one of the colors works well for you, hopefully this will be helpful too. The top one is called Dolly. I am going to hang on to that one. The middle one is Havana, and then the bottom one is Ibiza. These are not identical by any means, but I feel like they're similar enough that I don't need to keep both of them. I've been sitting here for 5 minutes trying to get this to focus, and I don't think it's going to cooperate. So I think I'll keep Havana and I will declutter Ibiza. I think I can actually fit all of these blushes in 2 containers now, which is great. I would love to be able to empty one completely. Okay, so let me just move this back around. Okay, so these are the e.l.f. bite-sized face duos. They're $3. I love these. I feel like they got some mixed reviews, but I do feel like the blushes are very blendable. The highlighters are pretty on the cheeks, and I like that they're just small and compact, and you can try different colors without spending a ton of money. So I do have one bronzer duo. Again, I'm going to move this to my bronzer drawer. This one is called White Peach. I really like this one, especially if I do want like a brighter orangey toned blush because I don't have a lot of those. This one is called Guava. This is such a pretty kind of light pinky tone. It's a little bit softer. I think I'll use this one during the spring season. This is definitely one of my favorites, Pomegranate. I usually talk about this one quite a bit. I've used the highlighter quite a bit too. I just think it looks really pretty mixed together, or you can use the shades alone. This is the one I think I'll declutter. It's called Cantaloupe, but that blush shade just doesn't look great on my skin tone, so I'd rather pass this along to someone else rather than just kind of keeping it sitting here in my collection going to waste. Spiced Apple is another one of my favorites. If I could only keep 2, I would keep Pomegranate and Spiced Apple. I love these colors. And then this one is called Watermelon. I haven't worn this one a ton, but I do like the pinkier highlight. Some of the highlighters end up looking very similar, but this one's a little bit different. And then this one is Lychee. I actually forgot about this one, but I do, again, I like that that highlighter is a little bit different. You could mix these shades together and that would be really pretty. So I am going to keep the majority of them. They're small and compact. They don't take up a lot of room, but I do find that I reach for them quite a bit. I do have a few more ColourPop pressed powder blushes. I don't know. I can't get into these. I want to love them just because there are pretty colors. They're pretty blendable for the most part, but their powder blush formula varies quite a bit. So they have like the matte blushes that I decluttered earlier. Those are actually better quality than these. I feel like the blushes that come in these compacts aren't quite as good. This one is called On the Horizon. It's a lighter pink. It does have like a very subtle hint of shimmer, but I feel like I have other shades like this, so I am going to declutter this one. This one is called, what is it? Shook to the Coral. That's a cute name. This one kind of reminds me of Milani's Luminoso. I mean, it's a little bit deeper, but I don't think I would wear this color enough to keep this one. And then this one is called Crossroads. I have them in my collection because I was testing them for a video. I do like this one. I don't have a ton of blush that actually looks like this, so I think I will hang on to this one. It's a pretty color for summer. Again, it's kind of one of those like bronzer blush tone shades. And then this one is called Wayfair. This is just like a light peachy blush, which, I mean, this one right here looks almost identical to it. So I am going to declutter this one as well. Like I said, I was working on testing them out, which is why they're actually in my collection. And then I just fell behind on ColourPop reviews. So I think I told you guys in a recent video, I think I'll end up doing like a ColourPop roundup at the end of every month or two. And even if I'm late to the reviews, I can still share a review on the formula. So I feel like I just got overwhelmed by their products, and I don't try to keep up with every release, but if I get a collection in the mail as PR, I do try to review it if I can, because that's the whole point of me receiving it. So the blushes, I mean, overall, I feel like you could skip over them if you have blushes that are similar. I don't have a ton that look like this, so I think I'll keep just this one shade, but declutter the other ones. The ColourPop blushes I have been reaching for quite a bit are their Super Shock blushes. These are actually from the Wine and Only collection. This one is called Cruel Intentions, and it is a matte blush. I didn't always love the Super Shock formula, but again, because I've kind of been getting into creams, these have been nice. They're very easy to work with. If you are typically intimidated by cream blushes, I think you'll like this formula. This one is called Brute Flute. I love this one. It does have a little bit of like a shimmery effect to it. I wear this one quite a bit. And then this one is called Cheerio. Again, this is such a gorgeous color. I love this one so much, especially if I want more of a dramatic look. So I am going to keep these three. This is the BH Cosmetics blush palette. I have Vanilla Cream Truffle. I do like this. It's just very, very blendable, easy to work with. I think that these blush palettes as a whole are a little bit underrated. They came out with them, I want to say last year, maybe the year before, I can't remember, but I do like them. I know they're sold at Ulta if you're ever at Ulta and you're looking for just a good, inexpensive blush palette. And then I do have this blush palette from Hourglass. It comes with Surreal Glow, Luminous Flush, and Mood Exposure. This is a little bit older, but the blushes still seem like they're in good condition. So I do have the mini version of Mood Exposure. I would declutter the mini version, but in the past, when we've traveled, that's typically what I bring with me, so I am going to keep this trio as well. Here is a look at my current blush collection after I decluttered. Let me show you guys a before photo or a before clip. These are all of the blushes that I started with, and after I decluttered, this is what I'm left with. These are all of the blushes that I'm decluttering, so I am decluttering 22, although I do have like some trios and a palette in there, so I would say it's probably more than 22 overall, but based on the amount of products, I started with 71, decluttered 22, so I did declutter 31%. For some reason, it feels like I got rid of more than that, but I feel okay with that. I really just wanted to remove products I wasn't reaching for as often. And even though I tell myself I like certain products like these trios or maybe, you know, this Buxom blush, it doesn't mean that I need to keep it in my collection when I have so many other options to reach for. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. I feel like this declutter was all over the place because my camera wouldn't focus and I didn't drink any coffee, but hopefully it was still enjoyable to watch. I hope you guys have a great day. Make sure to subscribe because I will be uploading more declutters over the next few weeks, and I'll see you very soon with a new video. Bye.